What's up, y'all? It's Caddy West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Feeling this shit. So we're here to talk about the top 10 simps of America. Now, this is a very good list, so I have to go over it. Shout out to Gary Wilson for putting this list together because I feel like it's very, very important and tells the truth about a lot of the bullshit that goes on between us men who are simping. So let's start out with number one of the top 10 simps in America, beginning with male baby boomers. Now, Angry Man Valdez had discussed this before, but basically one of the problems with the male baby boomers is they're born in a time where a man was heavily judged on by his relationship with women. Now, of course, at this time, during that time, there weren't many, the US wasn't in danger of any world wars or anything like that. And when they had, the increase of children born, now at that point, they had other things to think of. And one of those things was pussy. Let's just be real. Now, at this time, around the boomers, there was a thing about pimping and all of that. And that was a big deal. And a lot of these pimps end up being the same ones who end up being the simps, as you see from Steve Harvey and other old cats. Shit, even Barack Obama, he was a big old simp. Talk about he did what he could to make his wife happy and bullshit like that. Just kowtowing to black women, something that we always see throughout the community, something that probably won't stop unless we decide to. Well, the ones who decide to stay in the community, because unlike most of y'all, I'm getting the fuck out. So, yes, the male baby boomers, our fathers, a lot of times, you know, they might not have been in our lives because, maybe they're too busy simping over other women, you know, maybe they're simping over our mother, you know, who, took advantage of that. Yeah, there's thousands of scenarios where I could go over where, the male baby boomers let us down. You know, these same male baby boomers, they're the same ones who were, you know, sending our sisters to college while deciding not to send us to college, make us thug it out. They had, the boomers, they used to look to give out tough love, but mainly towards the young black man. Something that I noticed, even what I experienced growing up as well. You know, for some reason, you know, they're always harder on the black men. And of course, I guess I could understand, girls, they're not very strong and stuff like that. But I just feel like even when it came to discipline and stuff like that in the black community, the male baby boomers always made sure to like stick to you, you know, as a male versus if you're a female, they'll give a lot of black women pass to do them dirty while, making sure, you know, other black men pay even if it's for minor offenses. We see this every day. That's kind of why, the community is the way it is. We'll let women continue to become single mothers while ridiculing the men, which is like super crazy. I hope y'all can hear me, by the way, because if y'all can't hear me, then it's bad. Oh shit! Yeah. So y'all probably couldn't even hear me, which is really, really, really whack. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a quick break real quick. And I don't know what's the deal with my commercial keep freezing up like that. I don't know what's the deal with that. I'm on, my secondary computer works pretty well. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that shit. I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out. Hey, it is what it is. Shit, what else got here? Oh, back to the simp list. What else we got? Okay, stepdads. Now, stepdads gotta be one of the biggest simps that we all know. And when it comes to stepdads, you know who I think of? That boy Russell Wilson, because he is the biggest simp in NFL history. Because this man went ahead and picked up Sierra, knowing damn well that she was madly in love with Future. He basically is willing to, be second place to a man who didn't even really care about Sierra. And maybe it was kind of unfair to say that Future didn't care about Sierra. He probably just didn't care about her the way Sierra expected. But what makes Russell Simpson, Russell Wilson, one of the biggest simps is the fact that he keeps trying to push to have this relationship with Little Future. And of course, if you're with someone's mother, of course you're gonna have a relationship. Of course, you're gonna be cordial to some degree, as y'all should. But it just seems like, from my point of view, it just seems like he's a try hard. It seems like he's doing his best to go out of his way to show off that he has a relationship with a Little Future, you know, while not really giving a fuck about his feelings, about Future's feelings about seeing his son being all, hugged up and, carrying on with some guy trying to play his role. That is some fuck shit. Now, number 3 on the list is foreign men. Well, as y'all know, I do have, Jamaican roots. So I can honestly say that yes, foreign men can be some big ass simps. And the reason I believe that foreign men tend to be the biggest simps is because, you know, in their country, you know, women couldn't be as promiscuous because, they lived in small communities, and if a woman, was promiscuous with the wrong man, her status would be ruined. Her reputation would be ruined. So, foreigners come from these other countries and they believe that women carry on the same way. But what they don't understand is, especially in the Black community, that, you know, a lot of the shame has been removed. When you grow up in a home and, you don't know your father, you're raised by your mother, you know, and the mother's the only one that you
have to worry about being ashamed of. You don't have to be ashamed of your father. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed of doing something bad in front of your father because you don't even have a relationship with your father. Therefore, Black Americans, unfortunately, and just Americans alike, have a tendency to be able to, go against cultural, things that's culturally normal, like not being promiscuous. So foreigners come over here and they may simp because they believe they're under oppression, that the women in their country, that women in America are similar to the women in this country. When unfortunately, because of the freedoms that this country does provide, it unfortunately corrupts its women too. That's a caveat of being in a place where people can be free. But at the same time, feminism has freed men. So even though we might not be able to have the same relationships that we had before, at the same time we have no obligators to them. But foreign men, they come to this country, they don't necessarily get that dynamic because trust me, it is a weird dynamic. Yeah, especially in the Black community. So what's next up? What's next up? Okay, number four would be Southern men, and I could definitely agree that Southern men probably are the biggest simps. And the main reason why is because a lot of these Black men were raised in the church, where they listen to a pastor who always, put, Black women in the forefront in the church. Especially the fact that the pastor was the one who allowed, a lot of bad behaviors to carry on in church. Like, for example, allowing people, you know, to have babies out of wedlock come and join the church. Not saying they should necessarily expel, a woman who has a child out of wedlock, but at the same time, because they have single baby mothers in the church, they don't condemn. They tend to shy away from sex before marriage and that topic, something that they usually discussed in the early '80s, but they don't talk about it now because it's all about the, I wouldn't say the hope strategy. It's all about prosperity preaching now. So a lot of Black men came from the church that was prosperity preaching, and they came from single mother homes themselves. So they tend to be big simps because every time they see a woman who's struggling, all they see is their mom. But truth be told, you know, even their mom made a choice. What we don't know is sometimes, mothers make bad choices that were very selfish and sexually charged, and they end up becoming a single mother. Hey, it is what it is. Now, the next one, number five on the list, will be pro black men. Dr. Umar ass ninjas. Yes, pro black men were one of the biggest simps. And I want to talk shit about Malcolm X because that would be kind of wrong. And at the same time, the black woman was a different woman back in the day when Malcolm X first said that black women were the least protected. Well, at one point in time, the black woman was the type of woman who would stand by her man and, defend her man. But, maybe that's what Malcolm X probably was referring to, the fact that, the modern black woman was a different type of woman back then. I don't know. But let's just be real. If Malcolm X was alive to this day, he'll realize that's actually not the truth. The truth is the black woman isn't protected. But unfortunately, the black woman is not protected from herself. And that's the biggest enemy to her everyday life, as well as her children that she bears. Now back to these pro black men. Dr. Umar ass niggas. And, A lot of people don't bring up the fact that they want to bring up about how they want black people in the collective to do better, but they're never willing to put black women in the position to basically fix their wrongdoings. You know, Dr. Umar and many people like him, they're not willing to go tell the truth and just say, "Look here, man. Look, black women, y'all need to get off this welfare. Y'all need to marry the men that y'all having children with. Y'all women need to stop. Go ahead and y'all just need to go ahead and stop putting black men in child support and raise these kids together. Even if but guess what? Pro black men, they're not gonna do that because they're too scared to lose support from you know, these black women who just want to hear black men kowtow to each other. Shit crazy. Shit is really, really, really crazy. But hey, it be like that. So yo, I was thinking about doing a Q&A session and posting the phone number. That way y'all can call in. Y'all can chime in and say what y'all got to say. What y'all think about that? If y'all watching, put a one in the chat and tell me if y'all want me to do the call in session now, or y'all want me to go through this list of the simps. All right, where we at? Where we at? All right. We about to go to number 6. Oh shit. Oh damn. Number 6 is definitely something that we could kind of go into. Yeah, number 6 is interesting. It is I kind of feel like this goes towards a lot of men out here. And number 6 on the list is oh boy. Wait a damn minute. Let me get back on the screen. Oh, there you go. My bad, y'all. I apologize for that. Okay. So number 6 is the male feminist. Shit, yeah. I talked to a couple male feminists online, especially in those Kevin Samuel groups. And yeah, they be on some bitch assness. That's yeah. Yeah, male feminist. Male feminist is an oxymoron. But it appears that who's a male feminist? Male feminist would be considered a guy like shit. Drake said he's a male. He said he was a feminist. Cause Drake, he be simping like a motherfucker. Even though I do like his music, he be simping like a motherfucker. And the nigga paint his nails. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's the deal with that bullshit. But anyone who's like, going like, Drake, reason why I kind of say he's a male feminist is because he decided to use Sexy Red as his opening act on tour. And, maybe that is, financial move because, he knows, the hoes going to come and see. But I kind of feel like Drake, I just kind of feel like he got such a big fan base that he don't need to really put Sexy Red on his tour. I kind of feel like he did that because he's a simp. Like I just kind of feel like he's just kind of just try to placate to you know real feminists. Shit. Number 7, they say that on the number 7 list is fat men. Hmm. And I hate to say this, but unfortunately, it is true. Fat men are some of the biggest simps. Just like how fat women are some of the biggest tricks when it comes to women paying or breaking bread on men. You know, a fat guy, he's gonna have to compensate for being overweight and not being as attractive. Kind of like a Boyce Watkins ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're out of shape. You're smart. You got a lot of money, so you're able to buy your dream girl or the dream woman. 20 to 30 years later after college. That's basically, he kind of falls in that category because even though he might not be obese, he's definitely not in shape. Uh, shit. But yeah, but fat men, just like how fat women had to compensate for not being in shape, fat men had to do the same thing. And when it comes to breaking bread, what do they say? Gotta pay like they weigh. It is what it is. Number 8 is pastors. Now remember when I did state back about how Southern men are one of the biggest simps on this list because of the fact of the pastors. Yes, the pastors are the ones who were, you know, tailoring his sermon around the single mothers and around the women of the community versus speaking the sermon and speaking what's right. By the end of the day, we all know that church, especially in the community, is a dog and pony show, and the reverend's gonna do what he could take, what he has to do to make sure he earns a buck and make sure he keeps that money coming in. But unfortunately, the pastor, had ill intentions on why he was spreading the sermon. Not telling us what we need, but just telling us what we want to hear. And when I say we, I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about the women in the church. So yeah, these pastors, behind our backs, they were sleeping with these single mothers and doing all types of crazy little shit. Shit, they were even sleeping with married women. Women who were more devoted to the church than they were to their man, which is ironic because in the Bible it tells you that your man, you're supposed to follow your man, and you're supposed to actually go through God through your man. But yeah, so pastors, they definitely are the biggest simps when it comes to the community. You know, basically, not holding women accountable, and basically not facilitating men having control of the community. Definitely big simping. Number 9, nerdy guys. Shit, Boyce Watkins falls into that. Who else? Uh, what's it? What's that dude's name? Mark Zuckerberg. He's a big simp. You know, it's like people could be online and they could say niggas, they could say hoe ass nigga, they could say, you know, they could say any disparaging marks around men. But as soon as you say HOE on Facebook, they go being on Facebook jail. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg, he worked for them peoples, the government, and for simping ass, and he's a male feminist. Because why is it that men always get struck down and get thrown in FE jail, but these women could say whatever the fuck, and they could just go on like it's no big deal. They could post your picture. They could do all types of abuse to men online. But when a man goes and call a bitch a hoe or a bitch or whatever, or tells to eat a dick, then guess what? Before you know it, he wake up, his account in FB jail. So yes, nerdy guys, they're just trying to compensate for not having looks. So they'll say anything, even if it's not even logical, just to placate two women. And they'll do things just for the sake of trying to be with a woman. So that's a problem. And that's the reason why nerdy guys are the biggest simps, because they don't have enough. And I wouldn't say game as in like a pimp, but not they don't have enough game about life to know that you don't have to lie to a girl to go get your way with her. Now, number 10 would be club bouncers. And mind you, this is not even my list, but I would have to agree that club bouncers could definitely be simps because, you know, they're the ones they want to go and make a big deal, you know, about not letting you in the club. But, there's some girls, he'll let them in the club. And at the same time, I guess by proxy, they might have to be a little bit of a simp because, the club is all about letting girls in and stuff like that. But at the same time, I've seen bouncers let, certain women get away with bad behavior and shit like that. Or they might, a girl might get into it with a dude, and the first thing that bouncers want to do is toss the dude at the club, not knowing the woman was the one who was causing trouble all in the first place. So yes, I could definitely agree that club bouncers could definitely be simps. Especially the fact that, just being a club bouncer or a doorman, you know, they kind of feel like they have to do a little bit more to impress the ladies. So unfortunately, to try to get some pussy and stuff like that, they do be trying to let certain females in, even though they might be full to capacity and shit like that. So I could definitely agree that club bouncers are definitely some big ass simps. Matter of fact, sometimes the bouncer try to cock block on you and not let you in the club, but let the girls who was in the line, who was probably feeling you and try to talk to you, let them in the line and have your ass stand outside even longer. You know what I'm saying? That way she get roped up by some other niggas up in the club while you outside waiting for another 15 to 30 minutes. So I could definitely agree that club bouncers can be definitely the biggest simps. So yeah, you know what? That closes out my list. It's Friday night. So I guess everybody out in them streets. He's almost pushing to about 1 o'clock out here in the East Coast. So I'm about to call it a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I just thank for everybody who did tune in. And y'all gonna see some more content from me tomorrow. So I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. And while y'all at it, all y'all who subscribe to the Cali West Miami, please subscribe to my secondary channel, Ninja Please, because I will be doing a lot more uh, sessions and shows on there as well. More commentary things where maybe I might have more panels and talk about, wide range of things. So y'all check that out and make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. All right, y'all. Peace out and have a good night.